Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hawks Latest, your number one source for news, updates, rumors, opinions, and you guessed it, the latest and the greatest regarding the Atlanta Hawks. I'm your host, Zach Langley, aka Langley ATL, and today we've got a packed show for you. With the NBA draft just 4 days away and Game 7 of the finals concluding on Sunday night, the NBA season is going to be officially over. Things are about to heat up fast in this super packed off season, and especially in Atlanta. So Hawks GM Onzi Saleh, he's finally stepping in front of the media for the first time since he was hired back in 2024. It's the first official media availability since the organization made their big move to move on from Landry Fields and enter a new era of Hawks basketball. So obviously, there's no shortage of questions that fans want answered. So we're going to break that down, plus some growing buzz around draft prospect Jace Richardson, a look into late first round sleeper in Noah Penda, and some new free agency rumors linking Atlanta to a veteran 7-footer, something that they could obviously use. So without further ado, let's dive in and talk about Hawks general manager Onzi Saleh, who is scheduled to hold his first ever press conference with the Atlanta Hawks with the media this Monday afternoon, just a day after the 2025 NBA Finals conclude. So they're wasting no time in addressing the fans and addressing the media in an important offseason that has really begun. It's a very timely media appearance, to say the least. I mean, coming less than a week before the Hawks make their pivotal selection at number 13 in the first round of the draft, and then also pick 22 later in the first round. It's also the first time we are hearing, like I said, from the Hawks front office since the dismissal of Landry Fields back in April. I mean, there are major questions heading into this offseason, from the future of some of the guys on the roster, some of the free agents we have, such as Clint Capella, Larry Nance Jr., Karis LeVert, some possible trades. I mean, we don't know what this front office is going to do, but they're going to kind of lay out a direction for us. At least we hope. I mean, to how this new front office really intends to, continue this retool around and build this playoff caliber team with this young core that has a lot of promise and has continuously showed their promise. Saleh's background in scouting and development do make him an intriguing GM and someone who Hawks fans should have a lot of faith in. But it'll be very cool to see him talk to Hawks fans for the first time, because there's really only like a few pictures of this guy on the internet. I mean, there are these few stock images that have been able to be used for really everything. And if you look up Onzi Saleh right now, I mean, he's not someone who's really in the limelight a lot. So it'll be cool to see, his approach to everything and his demeanor, because this is the guy who's calling the shots in the franchise. I mean, obviously the president of basketball operations search is still ongoing, and they might address it in the press conference. But regardless, Saleh is going to be the top decision maker when it comes to transactions. So it'll be cool to hear from him directly. I mean, we've been, obviously reporting for him, and obviously Hawks media members have, but getting to hear directly from the source is going to be super cool, and it should give Hawks fans a little more confidence heading into an important offseason. So now, speaking of the draft, the buzz around Michigan State guard Jace Richardson just continues to grow. So Jeremy Woo of ESPN, a draft specialist, and Kyle Boone of CBS Sports are the latest analysts to mock the Michigan State combo guard to Atlanta at pick 13. This has been a divided, kind of a divided opinion on between Hawks fans on Richardson. I mean, he's a small combo guard, and he has a game that really, the fit is kind of questionable with Atlanta's current scheme, but he's someone who has been heavily linked to the Hawks, especially recently. So Hawks fans may just have to come to terms with the fact that Richardson is looking like a likely draft pick at 13. Or, I mean, if he falls to 22, that'd be awesome, but that's very unlikely. So, I mean, his stock has been difficult to pin down throughout the entire draft process. So some scouts cooled on him after, some underwhelming NBA draft combine measurements, where he came in smaller than listed at MSU, which was already small. And he doesn't really play like a traditional point guard. I mean, obviously, Atlanta's guard room is pretty stacked. But him at that combo guard he's really small. I mean, but if you watched Michigan State's Elite Eight run this March, I mean, you saw Richardson's ability to take over games despite his size. I mean, especially from beyond the arc. I mean, he led the Spartans in 3-point shooting at 41% in college, which is ridiculously good because he's showcasing high volume and he's in a big role. He's their number one scoring option on a team that went to the Elite Eight. I mean, that's got to count for something as a freshman. I mean, he showcased a killer instinct in crunch time. Hawks writer Khalil McCuller praised the potential fit. He said, one of the few things that the Hawks were missing this year was consistent shooting and scoring outside of Trae Young or Jalen Johnson, and potential draft pick Jace Richardson brings that to the table for them. He couldn't be speaking more truth here. I mean, it's not just the offense as well. I mean, Richardson's defensive upside, despite his size, is generating just as much interest, and it's probably why Atlanta is showing so much interest in selecting him that early. I mean, taking a gamble on a small guard when they obviously already have Trae Young. I mean, he plays with physicality, instincts, and effort. I mean, especially on the perimeter. I mean, pairing him with Dyson Daniels in the second unit could seriously form a gritty, switchable defensive duo that gives opponents' backcourt serious problems. And I mean, obviously Dyson wouldn't be in the second unit, but when Trae goes to the bench, Richardson could play as that point guard and give Trae a rest and take some ball handling duties. That he could be someone who could fit very well with the current scheme. I mean, I can see why people wouldn't exactly want it, but it's looking like Atlanta's starting to lean towards guard at 13, whether that's Richardson or Demin. I mean, two unpopular draft picks. However, Hawks fans might just have to come to terms with it. And also, I'm not sure what drafting Richardson would do for Kobe Buffkin's future in Atlanta. The Hawks might elect to get off of him, maybe even as soon as the NBA draft, just a few days away. I mean, obviously that guard room would be really heavy, and go ahead and get off of him while he's still on his rookie contract might be a good idea because obviously you want to move forward with Richardson as your backup one. I mean, so yes, he's undersized for a combo guard, but if the Hawks are looking for a high motor shooter who also can defend multiple positions at his size, I mean, Richardson is trending as the likely target come draft night, for better or for worse. So now we're going to talk about a name that you really need to keep an eye on. I mean, he hasn't been someone who's been talked about too much, but he's starting to gain some traction in his draft rankings. Noah Penda out of France. So the French wing is seriously starting to emerge as a late first, maybe early second round sleeper who could be a potential option at pick 22. I mean, right now it seems like a little bit too high of a selection for him. However, I mean, Atlanta could target him maybe if they trade back or even if they just stay put. I mean, so the numbers aren't eye popping. I mean, Penda did average 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists in France's LNB Elite League this season. I mean, at 6'6", he is a physically mature, high energy defender who thrives as a connective piece, and his game will translate into the NBA. He doesn't really need touches to make an impact, which is why his game is going to translate the way it will. I mean, offensively, he scores off straight line drives, offensive boards, and hustle plays. So he does all the little things, which makes him a potential quality NBA player. I mean, defensively, he can guard multiple positions. He reads the floor exceptionally well in help situations. He really just fits the mold for the culture Atlanta is trying to build. And also, he's out of France, so obviously pairing him with Riza Shea could provide for some good team chemistry, and he could fit right into that direction that the front office is trying to go. I mean, his biggest question mark is the jumper, which is obviously a huge concern for an Atlanta team that had like the top shot quality in the NBA, but one of the lowest outside shooting percentages. So the Atlanta drafting a guy with a real question mark at their shooting is definitely an issue. However, I mean, they're going to be working through free agency, and obviously the current guys are going to continue to be getting better. So Penda did just shoot 29% from deep this season. His release is slow and it's not particularly fluid, but his 75% free throw clip offers some hope that with time and NBA level development and training staff and all of that, the shot can improve. I mean, there's obviously room for improvement. He's very young. Analysts see him as a classic glue guy. I mean, the type of player who brings toughness, versatility, and team first decision making, something that Atlanta could greatly benefit off of. I mean, for a team like the Hawks, who, often sometimes lacked energy or defensive identity in the second unit, I mean, off the bench, Penda could be a long term role player worth betting on and someone who I think would be a pretty good option at 22 or in a trade back. So now turning to free agency, Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus recently leaked the Hawks to Boston Celtics big man Luke Cornett. Now, this is a bit of an interesting one. Cornett is an unrestricted free agent this summer. I mean, coming off of a $2.8 million deal. Now, Cornett is 7'2". He's being eyed as a potential backup to Onyeka Okongwu. I mean, who the Hawks, still view as their long-term starter at the 5. So, I mean, this would be a guy who's coming into a backup role with a lot of experience, and he got a good bit of playing time with Boston last year. So here's what Pincus wrote. Cornett may not be a starter, but he has shown throughout the last few years that he's a viable rotation center who can provide a defensive presence. And that's really all Atlanta needs in their second unit. I mean, especially with Clint Capella likely on his way out. Now, with the Celtics facing serious luxury tax implications and second unit issues, second apron issues, sorry, and Jason Tatum obviously recovering from a significant Achilles injury and is probably going to miss all of next season. Atlanta might have a shot to lure Cornett using the $5.1 million biannual exception. That might really be all it takes. I mean, last season, Cornett did appear in 73 games and averaged 6 points, 5 boards, and a block per game. In the playoffs, he stayed solid in the limited minutes he got because obviously the Celtics used more of Porzingis and Horford. But he did average 4.5 points, 4 boards, and 1.2 blocks. So he stays very consistent with the numbers he puts up. And he's someone who could be a reliable rotation piece, even if Atlanta chooses to draft a center. I mean, they could really load out that center room, which is something that I think would be smart, obviously, with a bit of a smaller team at the guard position, especially if the Hawks were to draft Jace Richardson. So, we got to value size. I mean, for Atlanta, this move would be less about splash and more about, solidifying depth, something that is very important if Atlanta wants to take that leap into semi-contention next season. I mean, the Hawks need size off the bench and someone who can eat minutes when Okongwu is either in foul trouble or resting. So Cornett fits the bill, and he's someone who the Hawks should consider. So as we inch closer to the draft and, the dust begins to settle from the NBA Finals, which have been absolutely awesome, by the way, this has been one of the best finals we've seen in a long time. So the Hawks do have some real decisions to make. And Monday's press conference with Anti Soleil might give fans a more of a sense of direction. I mean, we know the organization is going in a great direction. However, it's going to be good to hear it from the guy who's calling the shots now. So will it be Jace Richardson at 13? Is Noah Penda a late round sleeper worth stashing? Could Cornett anchor the second unit next season? We'll be watching it all, like always, here on Hawks Latest. So make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single update. We're going to be pumping out videos every single day like we have been doing, and with the draft in just a few days now and free agency beginning very soon, it's going to be very busy here on Hawks Latest, so don't miss a single episode. Once again, I am Zach Langley. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.